Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 31 of the Carrieroldanshow, Show, where we spend 30 minutes or so a week having conversations that matter to the entrepreneur's body, mind, and business. I'm your host, Carrie Roldan. I have a pencil in my hand. It's a good one too. It's a Christmas pencil. But I'm your host, Carrie Roldan, and I'm a wife, a mother, a runner, a best-selling author, a personal growth junkie, a product launch Wonder Woman, and your business BFF, which, if you don't know, stands for Best Friend Forever. And I fancy myself an intuitive business muse because I help entrepreneurs to find their niche, create an offer that truly serves them, and launch it online authentically and profitably. And this month, I'm really excited because Intuitive for Entrepreneurs, Cynthia Carrere, and I have been creating something really awesome for you. We actually had a 90-minute training on it yesterday where we introduced our Playful Abundance Club that I'm really excited about. But if you would like to access that, you're going to want to go to www.carrieroldan.com/theway. And I'm not sure why I didn't put it in my lower third. So if I think about it, I'll put it in my lower third, or I'll put it in the comment section later. But guys, I created the Carrie Roldan Show because I have struggled, and I continue to on my entrepreneurial journey, because the road to success thus far has been full of potholes, detours, and dead ends, not to mention self-doubt, fear, worry, stress, marital tension. Did I mention debt? Financial struggle, all of it. It has been a journey, and I wanted to share what I continue to learn on the journey in the hopes that it will help you guys too. Because online entrepreneurhood can be a really lonely place, and I'm on a mission to help us connect. So speaking of connecting, I'm so excited about today's topic. So today's show is called The Magic of Aligning with Your Purpose. So I have some questions for you, which are these. Do you consider yourself a purpose-driven entrepreneur? Okay, just answer that in the comments, because I know there are so many of you who are like, yes, I'm a purpose-driven entrepreneur. So, but the next question I have about that is, okay, so what's your purpose? And that question is sometimes a little bit harder to answer, because if you're like me, the first one was a big yes. You feel called to serve your clients and your customers, and you believe in the importance of whatever it is that you are helping people with. You are truly passionate about what you do because you know that what you have to offer powerfully affects other people's lives. But what's your purpose? And how's your business doing? Like, is it growing? Are you really making the impact you want to make? So this is why I'm really excited to talk to Mark Porteus today, is because we're going to be talking about this. We're going to be talking about the inner purpose and the outer purpose. And he and I were just in the green room talking about it a little bit. And I'm really excited to have him here to help us clarify that. Like, why is it so easy for us to raise our hands? Yes, I'm purpose-driven, but I have a really hard time articulating what our purpose is. So those of you who watch regularly, you've seen me lean more and more into my own purpose over the past several months, and I am literally giddy about having this conversation live, because the truth is that for me, alignment, right, that word alignment with purpose, is an interesting phenomenon. It feels to me a bit like the word balance, which I hear people talk about balance all the time. They're searching for balance. They just want to find balance. But at least the way I think about it is that balance isn't a thing that can necessarily be achieved. Like, balance, even when you appear to be in a perfectly balanced state, right? Like, imagine me here doing tree pose, perfectly balanced. I'm actually in the act of balancing. Like, I'm constantly, making mini adjustments. So I might look really still, but my muscles inside are firing like crazy to keep me in that spot. And I feel like it might be the same thing with alignment. So that's one of the things I'm going to talk to Mark about today and ask him about is it the same thing with alignment? Because I sure feel like that. I feel like I am continually in the process of aligning, adjusting, and realigning with what I perceive my purpose to be. Okay, so here's what I do know. I know that as I consciously align with my emerging purpose and do what feels right instead of following a prescribed formula, my business grows and expands in delightful ways. And that is sure what I want for you and what I know Mark wants for you too. So let me introduce Mark Porteus because I'm itching to get him on the screen and have this conversation. So he and I met, oh gosh, in 2013, like December of 2013, at a big conference. And he was one of the names already there. Like I didn't know too much about many of the people there, but he was one of the names that while I was there, I understood, like, oh, this guy is kind of a big deal. And then somehow I got invited to be at dinner with him one night and a bunch of other people. And on the walk over to dinner, we were chatting. And I remember feeling, at that time in my business, I just felt so overwhelmed and intimidated, and really felt like all of these people here they're like really in business and I'm just like pretending. And I felt so seen by Mark. I felt he really helped me in this tiny, it was like a 3-minute conversation, but the energy that Mark exuded was accepting and encouraging, and I don't know why I was maybe expecting something different from him, but it was instantly endeared me to him, and I've wanted to interview him ever since. So let me read you his bio and introduce you to him. So Mark Porteus is a transformational business coach who empowers other coaches, messengers, and healers to share their gifts with a larger audience so they can thrive in their purpose of transforming lives. With 20 years of soul-centered sales and entrepreneurial experience, he is able to guide his clients to create a comprehensive strategy to share their story, attract a larger audience, and enroll ideal clients with ease and integrity. How good does that sound? Yes. So in his book, Maximizing Your Human Experience, a personal travel guide for your journey of life, Mark shares powerful tools to navigate your path towards self-actualization and his personal understanding of manifestation to create the joyous life you truly desire. Fueled by his vision of humanity's return to a state of oneness, a world where all recognize our connection to each other and all that surrounds us, Mark is on a mission to accelerate the shift in social consciousness from our current state of fear and separation to our natural state of love and unity. Oh, Mark, what a great bio. I love that. Okay, so I'm putting your face on the screen. Hello, I'm so excited to have you here.
Hi, Carrie. It's so good to be here. And I love that introduction. I remember that time, and I had no idea how you were feeling, but the fact that you felt heard and encouraged makes me feel really good about our conversation, and really just glad to be here and have this new conversation.
Yeah, I'm so excited about it too, and that's sort of what I've been sharing on my show recently and what I've been noticing in my own business is I think so many of us forget, because we're so, at least I am, so driven as entrepreneurs, we forget just how far we've come on the journey, and I think I'm in a little bit of a nostalgic phase on my journey where I'm recognizing, wow, I'm able to remember how I felt in that moment and connect to it. Like when I was introducing you, I was almost crying because I was remembering how I felt, but also now like be in such a different place in my business and be so grateful for where I am now. So that doesn't have anything to, well, it has a little bit to do with what we're talking about. But yeah, it's been a fun little moment in my business.
And that's a great exercise that you're sharing right now for other people who might feel the same way that you did 2 years ago, where they might feel like they're not really where they want to be, or that they're going through all of the stuff that you talked about at the beginning, the debt, the marital stress, all of those other things, that if they can think back to where they were even a year ago, even if they were in a different job or whatever it was, just to know, to recognize your progress, I think is really, really empowering. So good for you for doing that and sharing that.
Well, so thank you. And actually, this is not the first question that I thought I was going to ask you, but I think it will lead in really well. And so it is about that. It's about that there are lots of us, right? Lots of people who watch my show, we consider ourselves purpose-driven entrepreneurs. And I talk a lot about the awakening that's happening, not just inside of each of us individually, but there's sort of this collective awakening happening where more and more human beings, I think because entrepreneurhood is on a little bit of a journey, our economy shifting, like things are happening where more and more human beings are understanding and almost unwilling to settle for a life where their purpose and their work and what they get paid money for are somehow unified. Like there's so many of us really feeling called to that, like unwilling to accept that I have to find purpose one place and go to a soul-sucking job in another place. So maybe let's start there and just talk about, like, do you have any insight on why that's happening? And for sure, why is it so important for us to align our business and our purpose?
That's a great lead-in. First of all, the idea of the growth in entrepreneurship, that's a statistic. We can show that not only in our own country but worldwide, more and more people are becoming entrepreneurs. As things get automated, it creates more freedom, and so there is that part of it. The shift that you're talking about, I think, is a real huge part of it. I mean, this is a global shift in consciousness. That's a big part of why I do the work that I do, so that's a big part of it. But when you talked about your purpose and being able to do your purpose on one side and then go to a soul-sucking job on another side, I think people need to be conscious of that as well, that even in that soul-sucking job you can fulfill your purpose, that you can be in integrity, and you can, there are people around you that you can share your message with. One of the hardest days of my life I remember was the day that I had finished publishing my book. I brought it to my mentor, who was 60 when I met her. She was the owner of a spiritual bookstore. She was now 80 years old. And I showed her my book. I said, I'm going to quit my corporate job, and I'm going to go out and I'm going to save the world. I'm going to go out and really make a big difference. And she looked me in my eyes and she said, oh dear, you're not ready yet. The business that you're in still needs you. You still need it, and your family still needs it. You'll know when the time is right. And I almost cried. I mean, I really got choked up when she was saying this. I wanted her support, and I thought she was acting out of that scarcity consciousness, and that she was just, worried that I wasn't going to be able to make a living at it. But I realized that there really were a lot of things that I needed. It wasn't about scarcity. It was about knowing why I was where I was. And so one of the lessons that I've learned is that the fastest way to get where you want to be is to understand why you are exactly where you need to be. And we're going to talk a lot about purpose and how you kind of align with that. A lot of it just comes from our experiences. All the experiences that we go through in our life really are part of the path to us finding and fulfilling our purpose. So you can find your purpose wherever you are, but I think once you really get aligned with it, then you start to create a career or passion-driven business that is really completely fulfills that purpose. So you don't need to be an entrepreneur, but it certainly does help, and it has a lot of other benefits.
Okay, so as you were talking, when you were telling that story and how your mentor, who you went to for like a little bit of validation, kind of said, like, oh, honey. I wanted to cry because I feel like I have felt that in so many different steps on my journey, and I have talked about having this feeling of busting at the seams with potential and like really wanting to explode onto the scene. Like, I've figured it out, I've got my purpose, here I am. And yeah, it just hasn't happened that way for me. Yet if I look back on the journey, I see, oh, it's unfolding so beautifully, but I haven't seemed to have the patience in the moment. So let's talk about purpose. Let's talk about, I'm going to ask you where you want to go with it, because in the green room, you like had such a beautiful way of explaining it to me. So I'm going to turn that over to you, I think, and just say, can you tell everybody what you told me in the green room?
Yes. Well, we were talking about the two different pieces. One is the Eckhart Tolle piece in his book, A New Earth, Awakening to Your Life's Purpose. He talked about two different types of purpose. Your inner purpose of being, which is typically achieved through personal development, so probably everybody in your community is doing some type of that personal development work. And then the outer purpose of doing, which is typically achieved through service to others. So figuring out how you can serve others fulfills that outer part of the doing. But what Eckhart Tolle says is that when you are aligned first with your inner being of who you really are, then take action that is in alignment with that being, then whatever you're doing is fulfilling your outer purpose. So it really does start with that core purpose of who you are. And we talked a lot in this business about authenticity. That's one of the things I think people love about you so much, is that you're just so real, and that people can relate to that.
Right.
So the process, though, of becoming authentic isn't as natural as it would seem. People just like, oh, just be yourself. But we've been so programmed by our teachers, our parents, our bosses, all these different people, what we think we're supposed to be and what we're not really even sure sometimes. So finding out who you are at your very core is the first part of aligning with your purpose. Knowing what your values are. And then once you can work on that being part, then you can work on this part that we're going to work on today, the aligning part, aligning with your purpose on the outside so that you're taking action to fulfill that. And one of my mentors is Tim Kelly, who is the founder of the True Purpose Institute and author of True Purpose. He talks about 4 different aspects of purpose. He talks about your blessing, which is the gifts that you can, oh, I'm sorry, your essence, who you are at your core, which we were just talking about, your being. Mm-hmm. What are your blessings? What gifts do you offer people all the time? It might just be being a good listener. It might be being able to help people find resources. My wife is very, very good at simplifying complicated things. So whatever your blessing is usually something you take it for granted. You do it all the time. You don't realize how helpful it is for everyone else. And then there's your mission, the big thing that you're here to accomplish, the main drive that you came here for, which is, again, on that outer part of service to others. And perhaps it is an inner purpose of just being the best that you can be. Usually, when you're being the best that you can be, it includes something about being of service to others. And then finally, the last part is your message. What is it that you came here to tell? And most often, that message is in your story, in your life story. So the things that have come up and affected you are the things that you're here to help teach other people. So for me, the whole idea about figuring out what my message is and helping other people figure out their message is a big part of my purpose.
Okay, so I'm going to do this because I really love the conversation around this, but I think it will be helpful for everybody if we just stop, instead of just writing down the 4 things and then going, oh yeah, that's important. I'm just going to quickly see if I can rattle it off for myself. And then, Mark, I do know you have a resource for people, so we'll give them that. But so my essence, the essence is, tell me that again, because I know my blessings, I know my missions, I know what's my essence? Your essence is your core of who you are. And it's usually something very short and simple. My essence is infinite love. Okay. Or divine love. Okay, so maybe my essence is, boy, this would be, I'm just struggling with this. I think my essence is probably acceptance, is maybe non-judgment, vulnerability, all of those things are sort of, that's my dog barking. Those things are sort of at the core of who I am. My blessings, maybe those go along, I feel like my blessings are, I seem to be approachable, I seem to be relatable, I definitely can articulate what it is that other people are thinking and not saying, or even they don't even know they're thinking until I say it. That's definitely a blessing of mine. My mission, right? Isn't it funny that I would have thought that would be hard for me, but I said it in my intro, right? Right now, I'm just on a mission to connect us entrepreneurs on the journey. I feel like right now my mission is to just help lock arms with other entrepreneurs and be the business BFF, be this encourager, this inspiration, and also really a guide along the journey. And then my message, you say, is in your story. So that is funny because I feel like my message is always evolving. But currently, my message is about, while there's a lot out there, right? There's a lot of marketing information and how to grow your business information and all of that. If you don't do this work first, this inner work, if you don't actually know who you are, and that, for me, there's a lot in my message about energy work and stuff. If you don't do that, none of those things are none of those external things are going to work. So I'll shut up now so that you can comment on that and also share your resource, because I think that will be really valuable for people who are, I mean, I was sort of able to do that relatively quickly, but for people who are struggling with those 4 points.
Well, and that it wasn't relatively quickly. That was extremely quickly. It took me 8 weeks of study and divine guidance. Actually, the course was Divine Guidance on Purpose. First took 4 weeks on just how to work with divine guidance, and I believe that really is one of the best ways to do it, is to literally ask. You know, you can be sitting in meditation, get quiet for a minute, and just ask your higher self, God, whatever you like to refer to, the divine, what is my purpose? And then just write down whatever comes, and it'll get refined and everything else. And like you said, it does evolve, and you'll be able to refine it. I've refined mine since then, and I'll go over mine real quick, just because I love that you did, and it might give people a clearer idea. So my essence is, as I said before, divine love. My blessing is supporting awakening souls to recognize their own divinity and empowering them to share their gifts with those they are here to serve. My mission is to co-create heaven on earth by shifting human consciousness from our current state of fear and separation to our natural state of love and unity. And our message is that we're all divine beings of love who can maximize our human experience by aligning with our purpose. So it's a perfect lead into our topic. And the tool that I was going to share is something I call Finding Your Purpose Sweet Spot. And again, even if you're not looking for it in business, it's helpful just so that way you can understand. But it's really helpful if you are creating a business or you've already created a business, for a lot of different reasons. One, I really believe that it does help you to create more sustainable abundance and wealth in your life. Abundance isn't just money, because I know a lot of people who are millionaires and multimillionaires who have no time to enjoy their money. So if you don't have time and money, and if you don't have love in your life, it doesn't matter how much time or how much love you have, or how much money you have. So having a full abundance and loving what you do. So there are a lot of other people who are very successful on the outside. People say, oh my gosh, you have all of these things, but they're really not happy on the inside. So I think aligning with your purpose is the only way to create sustainable wealth that also provides happiness and joy, which is really, I think, our purpose, all of our purpose for being here, is to create a joyful life.
Yeah.
So, the tool really is a way to look through your own life and find the clues that are hidden in your story, finding some of the things that you're passionate about, some of the things that you love doing, looking through your own experiences to find out all the things you know. You talked about it at the beginning, but I think so many people have no idea how much they know. They have no idea how many blessings they can give. And so being able to use this tool to recognize all of the training that you've had, all of the knowledge and experience that you have that you take for granted, and how that will help other people, and then finding a place that you can serve, finding out a need that's in the world that you can fulfill, and then finally a need that people will pay for. So you need to be able to incorporate the economics of it as well, because even if you're just doing your work to create a legacy and not to create a financial big business or anything, it's still going to have expenses, so you're still going to need to generate revenue. So you need to make sure that not only you're fulfilling a need, but a need that someone will pay for. And there's a lot of different, it doesn't have to be the person that you're helping. There may be ways to do fundraising. You might be doing a nonprofit, but those are the 4 pieces that you need to have to find your purpose sweet spot. Okay, so where do people go to get that tool? They can go to markporteus.com. That's markporteus.com/purpose, and you will get an email that will just download the app, and also you'll get an invitation to do a follow-up call with me to go over your purpose sweet spot and to figure out, to ask any questions or whatever else you have. And I normally charge $149 for that. Just when you email me, mention that that you met me through Carrier Roldan, and there will be no charge. Yay! So I have your face on the screen because I'm typing right now. So it's markporteus.com / what was that? Purpose. See, I should have remembered that. But as my viewers know, I might be the slowest typer on the planet. So, okay, I have now stuck it in the, put that link
in the comment section. So whether you're watching live or on replay, you can find it. And if you're watching on YouTube, he said it twice now, so hopefully you caught that. But it's markporteus.com/purpose. And when I repurpose this video, I will be sure to timestamp that moment so everybody can find it. So Mark, you're not going to believe this, but we are already at 25 minutes. I told you time always flies. So I want to ask you about the Inspired Messenger Network, which is a big part of the work you're doing in the world right now, and also tell you, okay, I'm kind of jealous of your answers because I'm glad you told me that it took you a long time to get to those because, wow, like everything that you just said, your mission, that it's so inspiring. But I think what is most inspiring about it is that that's probably a lot of people's purpose. Like, and we all, that there's no part of you that is playing small in any of that, right? There's no part of you that isn't like saying, well, you know, my purpose is to help people with their websites. Like, no, like you have a big mission and a big purpose. And I know that your Inspired Messengers Network is part of that. So my dog's barking again. So I'm going to put you on the screen so you can tell us a little bit about that, and I can mute myself.
Great. And thank you. Yes, I love talking about the Inspired Messengers Network. When you talk about my mission, I had to add that last part only in the last month or so about bringing heaven to earth, because I was really afraid to say that for a long time. I had that vision since I was 12 years old that my children would be ushering in this new golden age. And I didn't really understand what it meant at the time. I thought it was just because of my religious upbringing, and I thought it was sacrilegious, so I like squished it down, and I was afraid to tell anybody about it. I started slowly, quietly talking about it, and then now I'm able to, like you said, live it full out, and that's what I want to help other people to do. And I do believe that there are millions of people on the planet right now that are here for the same thing, and being able to support each other and bring each other together is the best way that we can actually be successful each in fulfilling our mission. And the Inspired Messengers Network is for authors, coaches, speakers, healers, anyone that has a message that they're inspired to share. I believe that everyone on the planet is a messenger. You might be a messenger for your family, that there's something here that you're here to share, or your community, or bigger. It might be hundreds or thousands or millions of people, but not everybody's inspired to share that message. And I want to encourage anyone who does take the Purpose Sweet Spot or Finding Your Purpose Sweet Spot assessment tool. If you find that, yes, that's what I'm here for, I am here because I've got a message, I want to share it, you can join the Inspired Messengers Network at inspiredmessengersnetwork.com for free. All of the resources to receive information is all free. We do trainings, we do Google Hangouts like yours, and we do a lot of supporting of each other as well. So it's really about finding the tools, and everybody's in a different place. There's some people that are just awakening to their purpose and don't really know how they fit in there, so we've got that part of it. There are other people who may already be mentors and messengers, and they're out there in the world, but they're just trying to get it to the next level. So we've got a lot of tools to help at that level. We've got free resources, we've got a directory, community directory, calendar of events, and then we have other messengers that are within the group that are already doing very, very well, much better than myself in their business. They're thriving, but they want to connect with other people on a really deep level and lift them as they climb, and they want to take their business to the next level. I do a lot of work with tying some of my bigger partners together and supporting them that way. So there's a lot of different pieces to it, and I'm excited for anybody that checks it out. Email me from there when you've joined, and let me know that you met me through Carrie, and I would love to connect with you.
Oh, Mark, I'm inspired again. Here's what I'm feeling about your Inspired Messengers Network is I can feel from you through the computer screen the authenticity and the joy and the alignment with purpose that is exactly what that is. So Mark is, we haven't talked about this, but Mark is a natural connector and a natural like gatherer of souls, and a natural, I mean, we like joke about it because we're both a little bit this way. And we're like, oh, you know who you should know? Oh, you know who I need to introduce you to? And so the fact that he's created this whole network, this whole place with just everything that he talked about, with resources and with people who are, you know, I don't know where you are as you're watching on this journey, but people who are like me 2 years ago, like busting at the seams with potential, but wanting to cry every day because feeling like, I don't know how, I don't know what, I don't know who, I know there's something, but I'm struggling to, you know, the people who've got it more or less figured out and are sharing their message in a gigantic way. It just feels like a very safe and supportive way to connect. So I'm looking at the time, Mark, and we're already at 11 o'clock, but do you want to say any closing words about that?
Well, yeah, one of the things that you brought up was kind of a reunion. And for me, the Inspired Messengers Network is a reunion of souls. It's a bunch of souls that came onto this planet to make this shift in this golden age. And I feel so honored to host that party. And I'm glad that you're a part of the party and looking forward to just making the party bigger and bigger. I'm very, very grateful for you bringing me on the show and for the work that you're doing here and supporting other messengers in your way. And just keep up the fantastic work.
Oh, thank you. I love that. And you know what I love about parties? I love being invited to them. And I don't always love putting them on. So thank you for putting on the party, because I know it's a lot of work to pull that party together. And I love the idea of reunion, because that is when you meet those people who you're meant to connect with. I was telling Mark in the green room, I have a little bit of a problem right now, and it's a good problem to have, but it's a problem of just getting so excited and wanting to promote so many different people and their work. Because when you meet those people that you're really aligned with, you're aligned with their message, it is like, oh my gosh, I have to share this and I have to introduce you to so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so. And there is an energy and an inspiration that comes from, I like the word reunion, from reuniting with those souls, even if it's the first time that you've actually met them. So, Mark, I'm putting your face on the screen just as I thank you and say I'm so grateful for you being here today. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much for having me. And again, thanks for all that you're doing in the world.
I love it. Okay, so I want to give Mark's resources again. It is inspiredmensengersnetwork.com, right, Mark?
Correct.
And the other one was, so here's where you want to go first. You want to go to markporteus.com/purpose. So you can go through that tool and sort of get clear, right? If you're already clear on that, you're definitely going to want to go to inspiredmensengersnetwork.com. Or if you were one of those people in the very beginning of the show when I said, are you a purpose-driven entrepreneur, and you raised your hand, you're going to want to go there. You're going to want to go check it out, because your soul tribe is there waiting for you. Okay, so on that note, you guys, thank you so much for being here. It has been a crazy busy week for Carrie Roldan, but tomorrow morning I am leaving on vacation, and I couldn't be more excited about it. So tomorrow so here's what's happening in our world. Yesterday I did the webinar with Cynthia. So I gave that link at the beginning of the show, and I think it is carrieroldan.com/theway. You're going to want to check that out. If everything that Mark and I said today is resonating, you're definitely going to want to check that out, because Cindy and I are launching something called the Playful Abundance Club, and I'm telling you, it's so much fun. You're going to want to join us. And then tomorrow I have a special edition of the Carrie Roldan Show. I've already recorded it because I will be driving myself down to Mexico, but it's so good, you guys. It's with Roseanne Jansen, and I will post it tomorrow, which is Thursday, so stay tuned for that. You're not going to want to miss it. And next Wednesday, I will still be on vacation, so we will not have the Carrie Roldan Show. So you can just head over to my YouTube playlist and watch all the reruns while you picture me somewhere on a beach sipping a margarita. So on that note, you guys, thank you so much for being here. Great big virtual hug, and we will see you not next Wednesday, but the next one. And I think by then it will be the entrepreneurial journey to wealthy again with Cynthia Carrere. So see you later, guys. Thanks for being here.